students, my name is Niyati Said and thanks for watching Edupedia word videos. My topic for the presentation is the 12th section of the chapter Chemical Control and Coordination. In this section of presentation, we'll be studying about the ovaries. So let's study ovaries essential first. These are ovaries, okay? These are ovaries. This is the uterus part. This is the fallopian tube. And this is the endometrium. And this is the vagina, okay? And this is the cervix part of vagina. Ovaries, they maintain the health of the female reproductive system. They secrete two main hormones, estrogen and progesterone. Pair of ovaries is situated in the abdominal cavity of females. It is a feature of females. It is not present in males. Each ovary, as you can see, these are the ovaries, okay? Each ovary shows ovarian follicles at different stages of development. One of them matures completely and becomes Graafian follicle. It ovulates and it then converted into a structure called corpus luteum. The developing ovarian follicles, they secrete a steroid hormone known as estrogen, okay, known as estrogen, while corpus luteum, it secretes another steroid hormone known as progesterone, okay. Both estrogen and progesterone are called as female sex hormones and they are steroids. Okay. So diseases they are associated with the ovaries, they include ovarian cyst, ovarian cancer, menstrual cycle disorder and polycystic ovarian syndrome. Okay. So these are the ovaries that maintain the health of the female reproductive system. Okay. Now we'll see anatomy of the ovaries. As you can see, students, that ovaries, they are oval shaped and they are about the size of large grape. As you can see, this is the ovary, okay, which is oval shape and about the size of the large grape. They are located on the opposite ends of the pelvic wall on either side of the uterus. Okay, this is the uterus and these are the either sides of the uterus where the two ovaries are present. The ovaries are each attached to the fimbriae. Fimbriae is a tissue that connects the ovary to the fallopian tube. See, this is the fimbriae, okay, and this is the fallopian tube. Fimbriae is a tissue that connects ovary to the fallopian tube. These are also the fimbriae, you can say. Okay. Now females, as I told you, that they have pair of ovaries located in the abdomen part. Okay. An ovary is a female sex organ that produces one ovum during each menstrual cycle that lasts for 3 to 5 days. Okay. In addition, ovaries they also produce two groups of steroid hormone known as estrogen and progesterone. Okay. Ovaries is composed of ovarian follicles and stromal tissue, which I have already taught you. Okay. And please note that ovary is a word which is derived from a Latin word ovarium, which means egg. Okay. Now, as I told you that ovaries, it produces two hormones. And which are those? Estrogen and progesterone. Okay. So estrogen will be studying about it in detail. Okay. So first is your estrogen. There are several other structural changes induced by estrogen in addition to other functions are such as a structural function is that it promotes formation of female secondary sex characteristics. It accelerates metabolism in females. It reduces muscle mass. It increases fat stores by increasing insulin production. It stimulates endometrial growth and it increases uterine growth, that means uterus growth. It increases vaginal lubrication during intercourse and it thickens the vaginal wall during menstrual cycle and it maintains blood vessels and the skin and it reduces bone resorption and thus it increases the bone formation. When bone resorption is reduced, then that means then bone formation has increased many folds. Apart from the structural function, there are another functions such as protein synthesis and lipid. Protein synthesis is that it increases hepatic production of binding proteins. Okay. And in lipids, it increases HDL, high density lipoprotein, which is a triglyceride. And it also decreases LDL, that is low density lipoprotein. It is very bad for health because it helps in the deposition of fat in the blood vessels. Okay. And fluid balance. It helps in the water and the salt retention. So these are the functions such as a structural function, protein synthesis function, lipid function and fluid balance function. It is all regulated or induced by estrogen, which is a primary sex hormone of females. Okay. Now comes progesterone. Progesterone is also known as P4. It is a C21 steroid hormone which is involved in female menstrual cycle and it supports pregnancy. This hormone, it supports pregnancy, P for progesterone and P for pregnancy. This way you can memorize it. And this progesterone hormone, it helps in embryogenesis. Embryogenesis means formation. An embryo is a process in which or you can say it is a later stage of zygote. Okay, so it helps in the formation of embryo, the process by which embryo is formed and develops into a fetus of humans and other species. Progesterone, it belongs to a class of hormone called progestogens and is major naturally occurring human progesterone. Progesterone is produced in the ovaries, to be specific, after ovulation in the corpus luteum. And it also helps during pregnancy. Progesterone is also stored in adipose. Or you can say that progesterone is a progestational hormone that maintains pregnancy. Progesterone, it causes increased secretion of mucus in the cervix of uterus. Progesterone, it acts on the mammary glands of female also and it stimulates formation of alveoli, milk formation, milk secretion and milk ejection. So this is all being regulated by progesterone hormone, which is also known as P4 hormone or C21 steroid hormone. Okay. The estrogen is synthesized and secreted mainly by the growing ovarian follicles. Okay. Estrogen, it stimulates and regulates the development, maturation and function of part of female reproductive system such as ovaries, fallopian tube, uterus and vagina. Estrogen, it helps develop feminine secondary sexual characters during puberty age, such as high-pitched voice, development of breast, broadening of pelvis, and deposition of subcutaneous fat. So this is all being regulated by estrogen hormone. And I have taught you that estrogen you can say is synthesized and secreted mainly by growing ovarian follicles. Each ovary show ovarian follicles at different stages of development. One of them matures completely and becomes Graafian follicle. So you can say that a matured follicle is known as Graafian follicle. It ovulates and is then converted into a structure called corpus luteum. Okay, this is the corpus luteum. Corpus luteum is also known as ruptured follicle, which secretes mainly progesterone. Okay. Estrogen, it produces wide-ranging actions such as the stimulation of growth, activities of female secondary sex organs, development of growing ovarian follicles, and I told you that estrogen develop feminine secondary sexual characters during puberty such as high-pitched voice, broadening of pelvis, pelvis means hips, okay, deposition of subcutaneous fat, development of breast and pubic hair growth. Okay, and estrogen, it also regulates sexual behavior in females. It raises the libido in females. Libido means desire for sex. Okay, estrogen, it also regulates female sexual behavior, we can say then. And what about progesterone? Progesterone, it supports pregnancy because progesterone is also known as progestational hormone that maintains the pregnancy. Progesterone, it causes increased secretion of mucus in the cervix of uterus that forms protective plug during pregnancy. Progesterone, it also acts on mammary glands and it stimulates the formation of milk, milk formation, milk secretion and milk ejection. Okay, so I hope estrogen and progesterone functions are clear to all of you now. Now come to the disorders of ovary. First is ovarian cyst. Ovarian cysts are fluid-filled sacs that affect women of all ages, though mostly women of the childbearing age, that is around 22 to 25 age. Okay, so these are the ovarian cyst that forms in the ovary that are fluid-filled sacs. This is the ovaries with the cyst. Okay, ovarian cysts are very common these days and they can range in size from pea to grapefruit, as you can see. The majority of cysts are harmless. That means it doesn't cause any harm. Though larger cyst, which is larger than 5 centimeter in diameter, may need to be surgically removed. Okay? Because large cysts can twist the ovary and disrupt its blood supply. That means ovary with a cyst less than the 5 centimeter in diameter is harmless, but if the cyst is more than a 5 centimeter in a diameter, then it need to be surgically removed because it can twist the entire ovary and disrupt its blood supply. Okay, so this is the first disorder which is associated with the ovary, and that is ovarian cyst. Now the second is ovarian cancer. Ovarian cancer is an extremely serious but rare disease. Okay, as you can see that what is cancer? Cancer is an indefinite growth of cells. See, this is the normal ovary, okay, and this is the ovary with the cancer. This is the uterus, this is the cervix, and this is the vagina. Ovarian cancer is an extremely serious but rare disease. Its symptoms usually don't become apparent until the cancer has progressed into the later stages. That means its symptoms will not be visible until the cancer has progressed into the later stages. Now, what are the symptoms of ovarian cancer? Include persistent abdominal pain, indigestion, bloating, that means formation of gas, abnormal uterine bleeding, that means uterus will bleed abnormally, and the pain during sexual intercourse. These are the symptoms of the ovarian cancer. Okay, so this is the second disorder which is associated with the ovaries. Now the third is osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is commonly associated with menopause, just like mood swings and hot flashes. Menopause means stoppage of menstrual cycle. Menopause is marked by rapid loss of estrogen. The role estrogen play in bone loss can best be described in terms of battle between osteoclast. Osteoclast means bone absorbing cells, and osteoblast means bone producing cells. Okay, so the estrogen, it plays a role in bone loss, and it can best be described in terms of battle between osteoclast and osteoblast. Osteoclast are the bone absorbing cells, and osteoblast means bone producing cells. See, osteo means bone, clast means absorbing, blast means producing. So osteoclast is bone absorbing and osteoblast is known as bone producing cells. Estrogen is on the side of osteoblast, but as the estrogen diminishes, the osteoblasts are discouraged from producing more bones. As such, the osteoclast win by absorbing more bone than is being produced by osteoblast. As I told you that osteoporosis takes place when the battle between osteoclast and osteoblast takes place. Okay, so as such, osteoclast win the battle by absorbing more bone than is being produced by the osteoblast. So this is the osteoporosis, in which the bone becomes fragile and they become more prone to the fracture. Okay, this is the healthy bone and this is the fragile osteoporosis bone, in which it becomes very prone to the fractures. Okay, so this is the third disorder which is associated with the ovaries. So far we have studied ovarian cyst, ovarian cancer, and osteoporosis. Now, hormones of the reproductive system. See, these are the testes, interstitial cells, ovaries, follicle cells, and corpus luteum. Testes is present in males. It produces testosterone hormone that helps in the maturation of a sperm, and it maintains male secondary sex characteristics. Okay. Now what about interstitial cells? Interstitial cells, they produce inhibin hormone. Okay. That inhibits secretion of FSH. What is that? Follicle stimulating hormone. Okay. Now comes ovaries, which is present in females and which produces a hormone known as estrogen. and that helps in the follicle maturation, and it also helps in maintaining female secondary sex characteristics. And then comes follicle cells that produces a hormone known as inhibin, that produces or that inhibits secretion of FSH, that is follicular stimulating hormone. Okay, and now comes corpus luteum, which produces hormone progesterone, which is also known as progestational hormone because it maintains pregnancy. So what is the effect of the progesterone? It prepares uterus for implantation, and it prepares breast for secretory functions because progesterone, it acts on the mammary glands, and it stimulates formation of alveoli, milk formation, milk secretion, and milk ejection. Progesterone, it also causes increased secretion of mucus in the cervix of uterus that forms protective plug during pregnancy. So these are the cells. It is around 5 cells which are present in the reproductive system of human males as well as females. Testes and interstitial cells, they are present in males. Ovaries, follicle cells, and corpus luteum, they are present in females. And these are the hormones which are secreted by these cells, and these are the effects that are exhibited by these hormones: testosterone, inhibin, estrogen, inhibin, and progesterone. Okay, so this was all about ovaries. In my next section of the presentation, we'll be studying about the hormones of gastrointestinal tract, heart, kidney, and placenta. So till then, stay tuned and keep watching Edupedia Word videos.